if people heard or people looked at us and said that Detroit was a responsive government, that they responded to the needs of their residents in a way where they weren't afraid of the pushback. I think that's what resonates here. Because, yeah, there's significant pushback. People complaining, and companies who aren't even headquartered in Michigan now have some type of issue with what we're doing because we're shrinking their profit margins. And I've told a number of people, our profit as a municipality is public good. And so if private interests are going to compete against public good, which one do you think we're going to choose? And so I think that our ability to be able to put community voice at the center and to be a responsive government to that, no matter the risk, no matter the pushback, no matter the threats, I think that's the legacy of city government in Detroit outside of the infrastructure itself. The infrastructure is one thing. Great. I'm not diminishing it. You put a very future-focused infrastructure in the ground and fiber, but you do it in a way where it unlocks opportunity beyond just internet access. And now it creates additional avenues and lanes for innovation and mobility and healthcare and workforce and banking and whatever other one you want to name, it's going to allow us to do that. But that being said, I think that there's a severe leadership gap in this country on broadband. I think a lot of people are just lazily taking whatever they're given, and if they're not given anything, they just rumble and mumble to themselves. I think we've been very, very outspoken about the need for what we need to do, and at the same time, we've been very outspoken on who we think has dropped the ball. I think that approach is one that more governments need to do that, so that way we're informing the broader, conversation and discourse around this issue in a way where there's actual tangible hope. Because right now, all I'm seeing is a bunch of platitudes. And people passing off platitudes. Once in a generation, or once in a lifetime funding. People are saying that. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not once in a lifetime funding. It is definitely the biggest broadband investment to date, but it's not once in a lifetime. And if we call it once in a lifetime funding, then we're putting limitations on our ability to effectively respond to resident concerns, because there's not enough funding out there right now to actually get the job done. There is not. So anyone who's saying that this funding is going to bridge the digital divide, no. This funding will help us address the digital divide, and it'll help us to look at additional models for bridging the digital divide. There will need to be additional investment. But I, again, want Detroit to be in the position and to be looked at as a community that responded and supported their residents more than anything. Mountain Connect's been fun. I think that's the best way to look at it. It's been fun. It's been insightful. And that sometimes it's been a bit challenging. It's been challenging. Well, I would say it's been fun. It's great. We're in the mountains and it's beautiful. The elevation makes you feel funny. I also say that it's just been really good to just network with people. There's been a lot of like-minded individuals here who, at the very least privately in our conversations, want to go down this same path. And maybe they don't have the ability quite yet to be public about it in the same way we are. It's really great to be meeting with people who are on the same battlefield, albeit in a different position, but the same battlefield nonetheless. I think it's been challenging, though, because we do have a lot of people here who are saying things that are just not true. Again, as I look at the funding piece, or even on the very interesting comments on affordability. People looking at the Affordable Connectivity Program as solving the affordability gap in America is so laughable. And honestly, one of the laziest things I've heard at this conference. And I think that there's been some things that have been expressed in that domain that have made this a challenging experience for me, because I don't want to be confrontational here. I don't get anything by being confrontational. But at the end of the day, if I'm on the ground and I'm doing this work, and I've got residents, multiple residents, and entire areas in the city who have had prolonged 6-week internet outages, how is someone going to sit there and tell me a subsidy is a solution for Detroit? And I think that that's what we're hearing more and more. And those platitudes oftentimes are going unchallenged on the big stage, and it's very difficult for me to maintain my composure. And so I think that's where it's been challenging. But I think collectively it has been a very fun and thought-provoking experience, and I would recommend any advocate in this space, or really anyone who wants to be a bit more active in this space, to seriously consider this conference.